Once more unto the breach, dear friends, once more, or close up the wall with our English dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility, but when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger, stiffen the sinews, conjure up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favoured rage. Then lend the eye a terrible aspect, let it pry through the portage of the head like the brass cannon, let the brow overwhelm it as fearfully as doth the golden rock, overhang and jutty his confounded base, swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now set the teeth, and stretch the nostril wide, hold hard the breath, and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, you noblest English, whose blood is fecked from fathers of war-proof, fathers that, like so many Alexanders, have in these parts from morn till even fought, and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonour not your mothers, now attest that those whom you called fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeoman whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear that you were worth your breeding, which I doubt not, for there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble lustre in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry God for Harry, England, and St. George!
Hello everybody, it's Coffee Morning with Karlos, where I talk about a game based upon top secret criteria while drinking my morning coffee until my cup is dry. And today I'm going to be playing Into the Breach, which is a turn-based indie strategy game from Subset Games that was released on the 27th of February 2018. And everybody seems to be talking about this one. Now, there's a good reason for that. In fact, there's probably two good reasons while I think about it. The first one is that this is the same team behind FTL, Faster Than Light, which is another indie turn-based strategy game, this time from 2012, which saw you piloting a spaceship across a very dangerous galaxy. This time, we're not flying a spaceship across a dangerous galaxy. We are taking charge of a squad of mechs. Mighty mechs. Here they come to save the day. Thank goodness mighty mechs are on their way. And they are punching robots in the face and knocking them into water and other assorted stuff. That didn't scan quite as well as I'd hoped it would do. The other reason, anyway, that people are talking about Into the Breach is that it's actually really a genuinely very good game. And it's a strategy turn-based game that doesn't actually take forever to play all the way through. Rather, it's the kind of game that just lends itself through multiple playthroughs. And one loss doesn't mean the end of the world for you. It's funny like that. See, I started this off with Shakespeare because
I wanted to trick my viewers into thinking that I had some class.
Because this is bound to be a divisive game, and part of that divide is going to come from people upset for what Into the Breach isn't rather than what it is. Now, lots of people complain about Shakespeare because their only experience with him comes from sitting in a classroom on a rainy Tuesday when you're desperately trying to think about how to get off with Katie at lunchtime, but this awful middle-aged woman keeps demanding that you read a terrible photocopy of some words that don't make any sense and frankly seem to be written in a foreign language. This isn't how it's supposed to be. They're plays. They need to be performed in front of you. You can follow most of what's going on just by watching the performance if the actors are good enough. The words end up like a quality music score helping you feel the tone of the scene through their rhythm. It's all pretty clever stuff. Into the Breach isn't enjoyed by those people who wanted FTL. It isn't enjoyed by those people who wanted a grand strategy game either. It's deliberately designed in such a way that the random elements have been stripped back as far as possible, while still allowing for some variation from map to map, playthrough to playthrough. It's much more like a fancy version of Sudoku, with each puzzle having a solution and each puzzle being presented in bite-sized chunks that you can play and enjoy at your leisure. I'll leave it to others to try and explain the story. Suffice to say that you fight robot monsters with your big stompy machines. It's a puzzle game. It's a fun puzzle game with explosions. Okay? Cool. Thanks ever so much for watching today's video on Into the Breach. I hope very much that you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please do not hesitate to leave a like somewhere you found this video. And you may also consider signing me up for Shakespearean recitals, although I don't do that kind of thing, and that was just a joke, so please don't try and sign me up for Shakespearean recitals. And I look forward to seeing you again next time.